This tutorial will show you how to create a heaven-like post-process effect using my Blend Modes pack, now available on the Unreal Engine marketplace. If you wish to purchase the Blend Modes pack, or any of my other products, you can find a link to them in the description of this video or on my website 𝗟𝗛𝗡𝗪𝗡.com. Your heaven post-process effect will look something like this after you've followed all of the steps in this tutorial. Once you've installed the Blend Modes pack and open your project, go into the content browser and create a new material. You can name this material to whatever you want. I'm going to name the material to m_heaven. Before we create the actual effect using the Blend Modes pack, we want to create the post-process volume. This is required in order for the effect to be shown in the viewport. To do this, all you want to do is to go to your Place Actors panel, select the Volumes tab, and scroll down until you find the post-process volume. If you can't find your Place Actors panel, you can enable it under Window and then Place Actors. Once you've located the post-process volume, drag it into your level. Select the volume and scroll down until you find the Rendering Features group. In this group you can find the post-process materials. Expand the selection and add an array element using the plus icon. Click the Choose drop-down menu and select Asset Reference. You can now press the None drop-down menu and select your newly created material. You need to be within the bounds of your post-process volume in order for your post-process material to be shown. If you wish to have your post-process material extend throughout the entire level, you can scroll down until you find the post-process volume settings group and enable the infinite extent. You can now open your newly created material so that we can create the heaven effect. Since we have bound the material to our post-process volume, the effect should be visible in the viewport as soon as we apply our changes to the material. In the material editor, we need to go ahead and change the material domain from surface to post-process. This is required for the material to be able to be viewed within the post-process volume. We can now find our blend modes by right-clicking inside of the grid and then typing in Elias Wick -blend modes. In our case, we want to go ahead and select darken. By itself, this blend mode is not going to do anything on its own, so if we plug in the result to the emissive color, nothing is going to happen. So what we need to do right now is to right-click and add a scene texture, and change the scene texture ID to post-process input 0. In short, what this is doing is it's returning the viewport that you normally would see in your game so we can use it inside of a material. If we now go ahead and drag the color information from the post-process input 0 into the base and the blend of the darken node, we're now able to see something in the left viewport. What you want to do right now is to right-click and type in texture chord and grab the texture coordinate node. You then want to go ahead and right-click again and type in subtract and get the subtract node. And then right-click again and get the add node. You want to connect the A input to the texture chord from the subtract, and then same thing goes with the add A input to the texture chord. You can now drag the subtract node into the UVs of the first scene texture. You then want to go ahead and select the scene texture and press Ctrl+C and Ctrl+V to paste it in here, so you make a duplicate out of it. You then want to go ahead and drag the output from the add node into the UVs of the second post-process input. You now want to change the const b value in both the subtract and the add node to 0.003. You now want to right-click again and type in multiply and get the multiply node. In this one you want to change the const b to 2.7, and then you want to go ahead and connect the A input to the color. You now want to make a duplicate of the multiply node by just selecting it and then pressing Ctrl+C to copy and then Ctrl+V to paste it in. And then here you want to connect the first one on the top to the base and the second one on the bottom to the blend. You should now see that we have a result in the viewport to the left. To reduce the brightness of the heaven effect, we want to go ahead and add a second add node, and we want to connect the result from the darken node into the A input of the add node, and then we want to change the const b value of the add node to 0.2. Now, if you want to go ahead and make this more modular for yourself, you can go ahead and create a constant parameter and plug it into the b value of the add node, And then you can go ahead and actually change this value using a material instance, which will allow you to change the brightness of your heaven effect in real time. Now in my case, I'm going to stick with the 0.2 value. I think it's pretty good and it's working in most cases. And of course, if you want to change this or tweak this, you can just always go back and change the value and apply and save these changes. If I now go ahead and press apply and save in the top left corner and minimize the view, we can actually go ahead and see how the result looks in the viewport of the game. As I mentioned previously, if you think it's too bright, you can always go back and change the add input from 0.2 to 0.1 or maybe even minus 0.1. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you want to know how to create a fancy gradient effect like this one, make sure to watch the ambient occlusions gradient video where I used the blend modes pack to create this effect. For more information about the blend modes pack, make sure to check the Unreal Engine Marketplace link in the video description or my website elias-wick.com.